Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for coming. These events are so important to us because we can't advertise under our grant guidelines. It's presentations like these, it's consultants like Matt and Ken and the rest of them that are here that help us get the word out about NETAAC. We're a federally funded program through the Department of Commerce and EDA. There are 11 what we call TACs, Trade Adjustment Assistance Centers, across the U.S. They're in the Northeast, Western TAC. There's 11 of us. I primarily work with New England, the 6 states in New England. So basically what we do is, the way that you qualify for NETAAC assistance is if you've been affected by imports, you've shown a decline in sales and/or production, or if you have a reduction in employees or hours. And I can get more into detail about those things on a one-on-one basis. I ask everyone who wants to qualify for the program to stick with the basics so you don't get overwhelmed, because there's different ways that I can qualify you. But the beginning portion is to just look at your sales and look at your employment, and then we'll move on from there. There's 3 phases to the program. Certification phase, there's no cost for you to get qualified. There's no cost for you to submit the information for your petition. Then the second phase is the adjustment recovery plan. What we do is we come into your company. It's primarily a business plan that we write for you, but it identifies the projects that you'll do with the grant funds. There is a charge for this phase, and I'll get into the 2 different grant programs. If you're doing the small grant, it's $1,000. If you're doing the large grant, it's $3,000. At the time of the adjustment plan, we take a $500 escrow. Once your plan is approved, then we bill you for the rest of the money, whether it's $500 or $2,500. It is a non-refundable. We do have a 100% success rate. We've never had an adjustment plan or a petition rejected, and I think that we've done a pretty good job doing that. But that's the only cost for this program. There are no other hidden costs whatsoever. The third phase is once your adjustment plan is finalized and approved, you're in the implementation stage. And that's where we'll decide. You have to make a certain amount in order to, so you're eligible. If you're $2 million in sales and over, you're eligible for either plan. You can choose the $30,000 plan, which is $30,000 and under. We cost share that 75%. Essentially, we're giving you $22,500. Then the larger plan is up to $150,000, and we cost share that 50-50. If you're $2 million in sales and under, you're eligible for the $30,000 plan. So basically, when there's a timeline, and I'll be completely honest, sometimes things move more quickly, sometimes things move more slowly. It all depends on what's happening in Washington. Generally, and getting in the information for your qualification is up to you, how busy you are or how much staff you have to get. There's a lot of information that needs to be submitted, financial information, company information, and that, definitely how big the company is. We've serviced everyone from 2 employees to 300 employees. The time frame in Washington, sometimes we get a petition approval within a month, sometimes it's 3 months. We have no control over once that petition or once that adjustment plan gets to Washington, we have no control over what happens there. Whether or not they have 1 lawyer on staff that can look at things, whether or not they have 1 person reviewing petitions or adjustment plans. We will work as quickly as we can, as quickly as you can work, and we'll get the information in, and then it's up to them for the approval. So phase 1 is the certification approval process. We need to find out how you qualify, and again, I ask everyone first, please send in your sales and employment, and we'll go from there. Sometimes I can do a 25% decline on a production line rather than the entire sales as a whole. Sometimes I can get employment as far as if you had a 20% reduction in employment hours. Again, I don't like anyone to get hung up on that. Send it in, let me do the work, and we'll figure it out. We'll work together from there. I prepare all the petitions. I do some of the adjustment proposals. Joe Thomas, who's our business recovery specialist, will come in and do most likely come in and do the adjustment proposal. There are only 3 of us at NETAAC. We're a very lean group. Lisa McCatton is the director. I'm the business client development manager, and then Donna McKenna is the financial administrative assistant. Phase 2 is once your petition's approved, you'll get one letter saying it's been accepted, and then you'll have one letter that says it's approved. Once you get the approval, within 2 weeks, we'll schedule the appointment to come into your company. Joe and I will come in. We'll tour the facility. I'll explain the process at that point. Then I'll leave for the day, and Joe spends most of the day with you collecting information, history information, import and packaging information, financial information. He'll gather all that from you in one day. He'll write up the adjustment plan. It'll come to you to review the draft. You'll make any changes that you need to make. You'll send it back to us. We'll review it, and we'll send it off to Washington for approval. It says EDA 2 weeks. It used to be 2 weeks. It's not so much anymore. Phase 3 is implementation. So once your AP is approved, you're able to start using the money. So your approved projects, you want to list any project you want to do in that AP. If it's not listed, we can't do it. So Joe will list things under a very broad scope. It might be sales and marketing, where you can do web work or whatever, brochure design. You'll meet with the consultants that you want to use for the projects. They'll give you a proposal. You'll sign the proposal. You'll send it to us and ask us to enter into contract with the consultant. So what we do is we enter into contract with them. One of the things I tell most of my manufacturers, that's your safety. You have consultants that will come in and say, oh, I'm going to do A, B, C, and D, and they're doing nothing. You have the opportunity to cancel that contract at any time. You call us, say we don't want to be in contract with this consultant anymore. You'll choose somebody new. Let us know. We'll renew a different contract.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Who chooses those people? Is that something
You do.
We do.
You do.
Do you give us any kind of direction in that?
We have a database. If you need someone, you can contact us, and we'll give you, say, 3 web consultants. So here's 3. You'll meet with them. You'll determine the payment terms. We can't tell you who to use and who not to use.
But you've had, the people that you give to us, you've had good experience with?
The way they make our database is they've worked successfully with a client. So as long as they've worked successfully with a client, they'll go in our database. There's a handful of people that we obviously have used over and over again with some of our manufacturers. So we will, put those people out first, as far if somebody doesn't know who to go to. But if there's someone that you have in mind and say, oh, I want to use ABC, web consulting, then you can do that. But if you don't know which direction to go in, you can ask us. So these are the typical projects that we do with the grant funds. They are in the middle of that brochure that's inside of your packet. There's many different projects that you can do with the grant funds. We've had one company do ESL training, and that was covered. Basically, any type of consulting project is what we can help you cost share. So these are the things that cannot be covered. Capital equipment, but we can help fund the layout. We can't cover day-to-day operational expenses, salaries, postage, printing, anything like that. We can help the design of a brochure, but we can't pay for the printing of the brochure. And then off-the-shelf software. So you can't just get QuickBooks unless QuickBooks is customized to your business. The software needs to be customized in order for us to cost share that. So this is just an overview of the 3 phases. It's pretty straightforward. It's pretty simple. We are the best kept secret. We've helped many manufacturers in the New England area. In your packages, there's quite a few success stories. The one that's on top from Felton Brush is a personal letter from I think he's the CEO or president of the company, and that explains a little bit of what he did with the money and how NETAAC helped him. I tell everyone I am not a salesperson. I am a salaried employee. I'm not here whether you get the funding or not. I still have a job. So I'm just here to tell you it's a great program. And if you could use the assistance, it helps you. And if you have a $50,000 project that you want to do, think about it as a 50% discount off of that project, because we can pay $25,000 of that project. And there's our contact information. Anyone have any questions? Yes?
Yeah, you said that some of the projects are listed in the letter. What are some examples of what is covered in what type of projects?
That was in the middle of the brochure. If you look on the right-hand side, if you open that all the way up, there's typical projects that we can cover in there. On the left side, there you go, that one. Yep. If you open that all the way up, those are the typical projects. And again, there's many projects outside of that we can cover. That's just kind of the ones that most people will do. Yes?
Is there a PowerPoint available on your website?
It isn't. That's a good question. But our website does have most of the information that was in the PowerPoint.
I missed like the first page there with the amount of money and
Let me see if I can get it.
talk about the sales, the company's sales cutoffs.
That's not on there. That changes from time to time. As of right now, anything over $2 million in sales, you can choose either plan, the large plan or the small plan. And anything under $2 million is the $30,000 plan, which is cost shared 75-25.
Okay, so
Trying to get back there for you.
You can't email us your presentation?
I'm sorry?
You cannot email us your presentation?
I can if you'd like, yes. Yep,
Okay.
yep, definitely. If you'd like I can email you this as well. My email address is on my business card inside of that press kit. So just send me an email and I'll send it out to you.
Thank you.
No problem.
I'm sorry, the actual money, 30,000 for the two, could you detail the plans again?
Okay, so the small plan is up to $30,000 and we cost share that 75%. So essentially we're putting in $22,500 and your portion is $7,500. The larger plan is up to $150,000 and we cost share that 50-50. Basically what happens at the time when it's time for you to pay that consultant, you'll get an invoice. The consultant will fill out an invoice. They need to sign that so you're going to pay your 50% to the consultant directly. They're going to sign that they've been paid. Then you're going to sign saying it's okay for NETAAC to pay. We get that invoice, and within 2 weeks, a check is cut for the other share to the consultant.
And there's a company size limit on which quantity you go with, or you mentioned something about under a certain size, 2 million?
2 million. So it's under 2 million is the small plan, over 2 million is either plan.
That's what determines which.
That's what
You're
determines.
talking gross annual?
Yes. Yes.
Carrie, if we wanted to pursue this, should we directly email you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. In that
What
package,
information do you want in that initial email?
in this package on the left-hand side, there's a checklist, and it's the qualification checklist. This is what I need as far as employment forms and income statements, or you can put it in an Excel spreadsheet. The more that you can put on the computer and email to me, the quicker I can get it done.
So if you want electronic.
Electronic, except for the, electronic, perfect, yes. If you can scan in, send me the, scan everything. It just works, it's much more quicker and I can get it done, yeah, quickly. I'm the only person for the 6 states that gets this done. So last year, not last year, the year before, I had 52 petitions that I put in. So that's one a week, really.
How long do they have to spend the money?
5 years. You have up to 5 years to use the money. And at one point, because we had so many clients, we were limiting people to spend a certain amount of money at a time. But right now, because we've kind of paid down the backlog of the people that we did have, we're pretty much allowing people to spend what they want right now. And the only other thing I didn't mention is once your AP gets approved, we ask that you start at least one project within 6 months of the approval. That means you're in the program and started the program. And any other questions? Yes.
What if you already have projects that are getting underway?
We cannot pay for projects that have already been started. That's a key thing right there. You cannot start that until the contract is in place. So the contract has to be signed by the director and the president of our board. Once that contract is executed, you can start work. And it says that in the information that I would send you afterwards as big red letters. You know, please do not start any work until your contract is executed. Yes.
Is there a general, did you say there's a general, like a 20% decline in sales or?
Well,
or-
we start with a 5% decline in sales and employment. What the 20% is, if you don't, say your sales don't qualify, your employment's qualifying, you have at least a 5% decline, then, and I'm looking at typically a 2-year look back. It's not 2 calendar years, just keeping that in mind as well. It's the most recent 2 years. So it might be, May 2012 to June 2013 to May 2013 to June 2014. Or I could look at an interim, which is 6 months to 6 months or 7 months to 7 months. And this is where I tell people, don't get hung up on that. Send it to me. I will tell you what the next step is. I'll say, okay, we might have to wait 1 more quarter. You're just on the cusp of showing that employment decline. Or it might be, yeah, your sales aren't qualifying, send me your sales per production line. If one of those production lines makes up at least 25% of your sales, then if I show the 20% deduction, and that's why I say I don't even want to go there. It's just too, yeah, start with the basics, and then I'll ask you for, if you don't qualify, I'll ask you for more information.
You're talking about Washington and NETAAC?
Yes.
Does Washington support other parts of the country?
Yes, we have 11 TACs, 11 Trade Adjustment Assistance Centers across the U.S.
Thank you.
Yes, we cover all of the U.S.
Okay.
I don't, the other trade adjustment. We're all privately, some of us are independent nonprofit, which is exactly what we are. There's only 3 of us. And then there's, I think the other 8 are run by universities or under a university somehow. But we're a nonprofit standalone, and we all are independently run. We're actually a corporation, a nonprofit corporation that administers the grant funds.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else? Yes.
In manufacturing, you said that you can't use this for capital, for any equipment or anything.
Right.
But, and then reading down the list real quick, it talks about things like material handling methods. So what would be an example of, if you're not like purchasing a line or something along, what's an example of in the manufacturing process?
So the layout of the plant floor, lean manufacturing, there's
So it would be consultants involved in your.
most of the, I should say 100% of the projects that we do are through consulting work. Or the ones that we cost share, the ones that we can cost share are through consulting. Whether it's hiring a web designer, hiring someone for ISO certification or research or ISO audit.
So like a material handling methods, that would be just some consulting say that the way you're.
Exactly.
Correct, as opposed to implementing some, this
Yes.
a line or something.
Yes.
So if you're ISO and you want to get NADCAD
Yes.
certified,
Yes.
that would fall in there.
Yes. We can cost share that.
And if you're ISO
Yep.
and you carrier that have somehow reason picks you up from halfway across the country, okay, and you want to switch to a new carrier for the ISO.
Is that fall under a registration fee type thing, or if it's a certification, a research, an audit, yes. Outside of that, I would either have to look into it or probably.
The outfit we were working with was purchased by another group out in the Midwest.
Okay.
So what happens now is when they send their auditors out from the Midwest,
Yep.
we have to pay everything for them to come in and audit us.
Right. I believe that would be
Get rid of that.
covered. I would have to look further into that, but I think that would be.
Okay.
So to piggyback on his question, like if I was gonna purchase a new server, you wouldn't pay for the server itself, but you'd pay for the people who come in and
Exactly.
install it and the software and all that
Yes.
kind of- okay.
Yes.
Which would probably be half the cost.
Exactly.
You can have the software related to, if it's manufacturing based.
Customized. Customized is the key word on the software. Customized. Yes. Yes. Anyone else? Great. If you'd like to send in your information, and if you'd like a copy of this as well, just shoot me an email and I'll get that out to you as soon as possible. I will be in the office all day tomorrow. And I'm going on vacation in 2 weeks, so if you want it done, quick, much needed vacation. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks.